Welcome back to the Save Room for another Resident Evil figure video. So far we've covered the Agamatsu miniatures, the Yutaka Leon, the Toy Biz line, the Palisades line, the NECA line, and today we finish strong with the Japanese Moby Dick Biohazard figures. Now bear in mind I am missing half the collection simply because they've been very expensive and hard to track down for as long as I can remember. Thankfully, I was able to nab as many as I could back in the day before they became so outrageously expensive as they are these days. So half of this series consisted of Resident Evil 3 figures, which is pretty awesome because the only other Resident Evil 3 figure we had was like Nemesis from the Palisades line. So this really knocks it out of the park for Resident Evil 3. The other half of the series is kind of a medley of characters from 1, 2, all the way up to Code Veronica. First up, we have Claire in her alternate outfit from Resident Evil 2, her biker outfit, and she also has her revolver. Here we have Claire in her standard attire. Here we have Jill in her STARS uniform. Here we have Jill in her Dino Crisis Regina outfit with a Gatling gun. Strangely enough, they didn't include the red hair, which they did in the game, but she just has her regular hair in this figure. Next we have Chris Redfield with his Code Veronica outfit. Here we have a Carlos figure. I love this figure simply because it's the only Carlos figure we ever got. And next up, my favorite Moby Dick figure, Hunk. This figure is really cool because you can actually remove his helmet and mask. And there he is, Mr. Death. Next we have a brain sucker. This guy's pretty creepy. Kind of reminds me of David Cronenberg's The Fly. Here we have a beta hunter. And this guy is heavy as hell. Definitely the heaviest figure I've ever held in my life. I'm actually curious to see how much this thing weighs. Next up we have Mr. X, and this is definitely my favorite Mr. X figure. I just like his articulation and the way he's accurately depicted as he was in the game. In the game he kind of had like this brown skin tone as opposed to just gray. And here we are with Nemesis. Rocket launcher in hand. And finally we have what most consider the holy grail of Resident Evil / Biohazard figures, Nemesis Type 3. So there were two ways to acquire this figure. You could either build it yourself by buying every single figure in the series and getting a small piece of this figure, a Build-A-Figure, essentially. Although I have heard tale that even if you collected every single figure in the entire Moby Dick series, you would still be one piece short. So you would have to buy one of the same figure, two of the same figure, sorry, to have all the pieces to actually assemble it. I think you would be short like one of the tentacles or something like that, which is kind of bullshit. But you could either do that or you could buy it whole. And I've heard that the one that was already put together has a better paint job. So I feel like this one has been assembled. I'm not sure. So I want to say I bought this about 13 years ago off a guy on eBay. And I believe originally I was going to pay $450 for it. But then I think there was a mess up with the shipping or something like that, and it took him a lot longer to get it to me, and he ended up knocking off like another $100. So I only paid like $350 for this back in the day, and even then it was still kind of hard to stomach paying that much for a toy back then. But I knew that I would never have it if I didn't buy it right then and there. So at the time, it made me sick, but all these years later, it's going for something ridiculous like $6 grand. So it feels pretty good now, but it did not back then. I do have this missing rib spike in a Ziploc somewhere. I like to keep all my accessories kind of put away so I don't lose them, but these rib spikes tend to fall out quite a lot. All right, and there he is. Nemesis Type 3. That does it for this video. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a happy Halloween. Stay safe out there.